Lisa here. Welcome back to my channel. I am coming to you with my weekly deck reviews from the hotel in Oregon where I'm at for the Northwest Tarot Symposium. So the format will be different. It'll probably be quicker because I have limited time, but I'm going to tell you what it has been like to work with the 8 Coins Tattoo Tarot this week, and also what it has been like to work with the Healers of the Earth Oracle, and share my thoughts on those 2 decks, and also share with you what I'm going to be working with next week, which I'm sure you're all very eager to know because I'm at a tarot conference. Not that that affected it too much, but it did affect it a little bit. So firstly, the tarot deck that I have been working with this week is the 8 Coins Tattoo Tarot, and when I showed this deck last week, I had not yet trimmed it. I have since trimmed it and corner rounded it with a large corner. I think it's technically a medium, but it's like the largest one I have, corner cutter, which I think is like a 8mm. I can tell you guys later if you're curious. And then I also edged it in black. That did make it slightly like slappier to shuffle. If you've ever trimmed a deck, you probably know what I mean if you're a scissor trimmer like I am. It feels and seems very, very even, but when you go to shuffle it, it's just slightly less even, which means the cards sometimes clump when you're shuffling them in a rifle shuffle way. So it does that, but I don't mind. And if I'm careful about it, it goes just fine. The artwork in this deck is really good. I find that it's clear and simple, and I get exactly what I need from it. I don't find the images too cluttered or busy. I found that also I got some really interesting new takes on the cards this week by working with this deck. I feel like the guidebook, which I will show you in a moment, was really good, and the writing in it was very straightforward. I love this. Is this the 9? Yeah, I thought so. It was backwards in my camera, confused me, but yeah, it's the 9. I feel like, I know I interrupted myself, but I feel like I got some new perspectives from the guidebook on a few of these cards, and I just really appreciated that. There's so much if you just kind of sink into each image to pull from, and I really enjoy this art style, and I love how vivid the colors are, particularly once it's trimmed. It did have white borders on it before, and I do think it looks completely different. Like this card, for example, with this tea-stained look, looks completely different when it's got a white border on it, and that they just look very, very different. This is actually the deck that my sister won in the raffle last night at the Northwest Tarot Symposium, which was super exciting, and you can find that video. I think it's our update number 6, if I'm remembering right. But wait, she won this, and I'm excited. But yeah, one of the things she said is like, yeah, I'm gonna want to trim this one, because as beautiful as it is, I liked the size of it with the borders, but the colors are so much punchier once you trim it. So that is how that one worked for me. This is the back. So the backs are a black, but they actually have, I don't know if you can see that, a bit of a rose pattern. It's very dark. Oh, and that's ink, don't mind. There's ink all over my thumbs because I'm using a fountain pen and I touched it in the wrong place. It sounded dirty, but you know what I mean. It was dirty with ink. Anyway, guidebook, let me share that with you. The guidebook is actually really great, and I love the size of this because it's actually just the right size to fit in my Peggy bag with my deck, which is awesome. It is already tabbed, if you can see here, by, not tabbed, but it's got markings to make it really easy to find the section. This is awesome because some of you guys know that I will do this on my own with marker. I'll usually use purple for the majors, red for wands, yellow for swords, green for pentacles, blue for cups. I feel like I missed somebody. Yellow for swords. Did I say all of this? I have no idea. I'm really tired. Like brain tired, not like physically tired, because I actually had a really good night's sleep last night. Anyway, but inside the book you get full color images, which is awesome when you're reading through it, and a lot of the write-ups here are very plain speak. They're not overly esoteric or particularly I don't know how else to say that. Plain speak, like not big words is what I mean. I don't know how.
Simple humans.
Yeah, like super simple people like me. I want plain speak. But there were some really cool takes, and in particular I wanted to share with you the 10 of Swords has a bit, and this actually really, I loved this. It says, let yourself rejoice in the fact that the situation is really as bad as it's going to get. Your pain is real and your situation undoubtedly feels dire, but there is nowhere to go but up. Focus your eyes on the future and let the drama of yesterday fade into the past. And it's a really dramatic 10 of Swords, but I thought that that was a really great take on this whole, like, there's nowhere to go but up. Yeah, it's bad, but it's as bad as it's going to get. And I feel like there's definitely hope in that. So that was really cool. And I did play with this week the spread that is for this deck, which is called the Wild Rose spread, I believe. I'm just looking to see if it's actually in the book. I think it's in the back. Yeah, it's in the back. The 8 Coins Rose Tattoo Spread is what it's called. And this was a fantastic spread to work with, so I really enjoyed that. I am considering copying this spread into my personal tarot spread journal so that I can keep it because I really like that. Really enjoyed working with this. Definitely recommend it. The cardstock is nice. It's US Games, I believe. It comes in a slightly bigger than normal box where the deck fits in, or the book fits in and the deck fits in, and not in a weird, awkward way. So that was kind of cool. There are also some extra cards that come with this deck that I did not bring with me on my trip. They just stay in the box with the deck because I don't shuffle them in, so I don't keep them in here so that they won't confuse me. But good deck to work with. I freaking love the Oracle deck I have been working with this week. So Healers of the Earth, this deck has been so fantastic to work with. So this is the matte borderless edition, and you've probably seen a couple walkthroughs recently on this. I feel like Ethany did one. I did a walkthrough. It is a really, really beautiful deck. Color-wise, it's got these like soft, earthy tones. So you see a lot of these soft blues. You see a lot of browns and tans and soft greens. It's got this really just gentle color palette to it. And what's really wonderful is that you get the main keyword here, which in this case was purity, and then you get sub keywords, which I mentioned in last weekend's video. But virtue, goodness, a pillar of society. There's so much to work with. I think I maybe pulled the guidebook out like twice, which for me is high compliment because it means I'm getting everything I need to from the cards. And when I pulled into the guidebook, it was because I wanted to, not because I needed to. The guidebook is really well written and does give you a whole lot of other ways you can work with these cards. You can incorporate the card backs, which do have different sayings on them. So you can use that. I didn't use it that way. I didn't feel called to do that. But I really, really enjoyed it. The cardstock is really nice, and these have a matte silver edging. So it's shiny, but it's matte, if you know what I mean. It's just like the matte gold gilding that we would see on like the Moonchild, but it's silver. So it's not that super uber shiny kind, or the kind that feels like it's gonna flake. Like it feels like a very high quality, well produced deck that I'm super grateful to have. And I know that I'll reach for this again and again and again, particularly for anytime I really want some personal like soul growth work, or I want to do that for a client, or I want to have something that I know is going to have that straightforward and balanced mix of cards, but also not deliver anything in an overly harsh way. And it's not gentleified or niceified or whatever. It's still very balanced, but it just has that calm vibe to it. Love, love, love. Next week, finally after 9 weeks. I mean, only 9, but I said 9 3 times because I feel really strongly that there were 9 weeks. But I finally got my Dark Mansion Tarot. So I'm definitely going to be working with this starting today, well, tonight, I guess, and then moving through the rest of next week. I got the large size, so it has the same backs as the limited edition, but it is like, I'll pull out my Healers of the Earth because that is a standard tarot size, and I'll show you. So here is the size of Dark Mansion that I got, and then here is my Healers of the Earth card. So it is larger, like significantly larger, but I can just barely, now I have larger hands, but I can just barely get my hands around each half of this deck to rifle shuffle Dark Mansion, which makes me really happy because I really enjoy rifle shuffling, and I was concerned that if I couldn't rifle shuffle, I would probably eventually want the smaller version of this deck, but that was not a problem, so I am fine. You have seen this probably everywhere on YouTube by now, so I won't show you a million images, but I'm just really excited to work with it. I'm really excited to dig into it, and yeah. The only thing I can tell you, because there's been a lot of reviews of the limited edition and of the standard edition, I can tell you that this is a matte cardstock that I imagine, from what I've seen, and I could be wrong, and I think it actually says right on the Taroteca website, I think this cardstock is slightly thicker than the standard size edition. It is matte like the standard size edition, It has a really nice feel, smooth, but it is not the rose petal finish of the limited edition. So as far as I can tell from everything I've seen and from getting my hands on my copy, I feel like if you really want that rose petal finish, if they're not gone yet, and you don't mind the large size, get the limited edition. If you don't care about the rose petal finish, but you want the large size and you don't care about the box and stuff, get this large size edition. And if you want something that's easier to handle and you don't mind the different backing and black edging instead of gold, then get the standard size. So that would be my advice. I'm really happy with the one that I got. My only sadness is I love that rose petal finish and this does not have it. But to me, it wasn't worth the expense of the limited edition because I didn't need the box. I didn't need the fancy bag that came with it because I have Peggy bags. So I just felt like this was the best buy for me. So I'm really excited. It does still come in the clamshell style box, and there are no bonus cards either. Just like the limited edition has, I think, a separate moon card, and I think there's one other bonus card. So I am excited to be playing with this. I don't have a Peggy bag for it yet. I will whine at her later for one, but she's been busy because she made extra bags for, she advertised for Northwest Tarot Symposium, so her ad is in the program, and I think she might have something else up her sleeve coming up soon too. So she's been sewing her little heart out for all of that. The Oracle deck, though, that I'm working with this week is the Awakened Soul Oracle by Ethany. So Ethany is here at the conference, and my sister very smartly, intelligently, some adjective that means smart, contacted Ethany before the conference and asked her if she could set 2 of these aside, one for her and one for me, and bring it with her to the conference, which she did, which was amazing because she was running low on decks, and I really wanted this one. This comes in a really nice 2-piece box, and this is also quite a nice size. In fact, I think, let's check if it's the same size as Dark Mansion. I bet it is. Okay, I'm gonna check. Oh, it's actually slightly bigger. So the Awakened Soul Oracle cards are actually just a touch longer, but the same width as my large size Dark Mansion. And for comparison, I'll pull out my standard Healers of the Earth so you can kind of see. That's the size. Sorry for the glare. That's the size there. And then all of them stacked up is like that. So they were bigger than actually I thought they were. I knew they came in a bigger box, but for some reason I thought they were more like a standard tarot card size. But this deck is so pretty, and I cannot wait to work with it. So I'm just going to show you a couple of the cards, because I know I have to keep this video shorter or it will never upload. But there's just, I mean, I'm sure you guys have seen this around. It is not new to the scene, but I do know that if she's not out already, Ethany is running very low on these decks. I don't know if or when she plans another edition, so I would definitely scoop it up if you don't have it yet and you've been considering. There are some really fantastic cards in here that both my sister and I noticed. She noticed a couple of them first. She look at this one, Family. She pointed this one out to me, and I didn't even notice. I was like, oh, it's a girl petting an elephant. I love elephants and cards. And then she's like, no, look, Lisa, it's a family with 2 women, and oh, it just makes me happy. There's a lot of wonderful diversity in this deck. You can tell that Ethany really thought through how she wanted these images portrayed when she worked with her artist, and you know, you can feel her, you can just feel Ethany in this deck, I think. It's just really kind of neat. So I am really excited to be working with this. Very excited. So I'll be working with this alongside Dark Mansion this week. I will let you guys all know how that goes next weekend. And that is it for this week's weekly deck review video. So I will keep you guys posted. Keep watching the space for my last few tarot symposium updates as I roll them out. I've also been posting little images and snippets on Instagram as well, trying to keep some of those little photos going there. And I have taken some video clips that I will, hopefully it won't take me too long, and I will edit those together into some kind of like trip vlog for you guys. So that is it for now. I hope you're having a fantastic weekend. I'm sorry to be missing everybody's usual lives and stuff, but you know, this only happens once a year. I'm totally going next year. All right, have a good day, all. Bye.